What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Thin Ghost back again for another day. I said another day. Well, you know, another day, another beautiful day, another video. You know, I'm always staying dripped out in the finest drip. See you, Space Cowboy. And you know, one of my favorite sweaters. Y'all see me in this motherfucker all the time. Got the Dragon Ball Z slippers, man. You already know. But shit, my broke ass buying all these clothes, still can't buy no damn lighter. I'm over here lighting the shit on the stove again. It's really not that I don't have a lighter, I just always lose them. But how are y'all doing today? Hope y'all doing alright, man. Shit. What we about to do right now is we're gonna do a follow-up to the video that I made that one time where I was talking about how I'm gonna start a little series where I show you guys directly the differences between things that happen in the show versus the comic book. Now this is going to be episode 5, I believe, with a Machine Head and when they introduced Battle Beast, one of my favorite episodes of season 1. And although I liked it, there was a lot of changes, a lot of added material. Things that I really liked that they changed was the fact that they gave Titan a whole lot more of a backstory, more character. You really actually understood his motivations, why he did what he did, and you know, the whole reasoning behind the episode. It was essentially his episode. It felt like Invincible was just tagging along in it. And I like how they did that. I like how they gave him, like I said, more of a center stage, more of an actual arc or character, like reason for doing what he did. In the comic book, it just kind of happened, you know what I mean? But it was still cool. But also that scene at the beginning with him fighting, displaying his power, you know, just what he does on the street, dope as fuck. And not just with Titan, they also carried that same amount of care and love and amount of development and detail over to the character of Machine Head, who I've talked about before. I have a video of him on my channel talking about him and all the thugs he enlisted during that skirmish that happened later on in the episode. But right now, I just wanted to set the stage. We're going to be going through the actual issue that episode is supposed to be recreating. And it's on issue 19. And I'm going to show you the cover. I really like the cover, all this art done by Corey Walker. Like I said, he does amazing work. He also does the character designs and the artwork for the animated series, although I prefer Ryan Otley's artwork when he takes over the art for the series later on. But anyway, that's a conversation for another day. Anyway, let's get into this. I'm gonna flip this camera thing back so I can know what I'm looking at, and boop. That's the issue right there. Issue number 19. Bam! Look at that. Gorgeous, right? Alright, so we started out and you see the astronauts coming back from when they went on that trip to Mars, and Invincible was pretty much protecting them. Now, we didn't get to see this in the show yet, so spoiler alert. Even though I'm pretty sure everybody knew something was going on with that astronaut, I don't think they knew exactly what it was. So letting you know, spoiler alert, I wasn't quite sure there was going to be that many spoilers in this. I mean, if you haven't read the comic, yeah, spoilers, but I didn't know there was going to be spoilers for anything to happen in the show in the future. So just so you know, spoiler alert for this video. 3, 2, 1, boom, here we go. Yeah, he's one of the Martians. And he's actually going to become a hero named Shapeshift later on in the series. Pretty cool character, so keep an eye out on him. Another big change. Oh, can't wait to talk about this. So this might confuse a lot of you, but in the well, I don't know, because the way William kind of looking right now, you really can't tell. But no, in the comic book, William actually isn't gay. Well, he does turn gay, but it isn't until much later. And he does actually get in a relationship with a gay guy named Rick, similar to the show. So they kind of just sped it up since he was going to be gay anyway. They just made him gay right now. That was the change they made. But in the comic, he was just a dweeb, a dork, a lovable nerd, a good best friend to Invincible. Eve and him both agreed that his playful nature and childish nature is the best thing about him, while also simultaneously being the most annoying thing about him. When she broke up with Rex, she was alone. She wanted to get with Invincible, but he was with Amber. After he got that beating from his father, both of them kind of like hung out together, kind of mourned together, reconciled. So they ended up getting a little close, and they ended up going out. Kind of happened out of nowhere. You could tell Eve was never really in it, even though she might like William as a person. She doesn't like him in that way. William, completely oblivious to the situation. He's not really good with women anyway, and him just being the guy that he is just makes him completely clueless to how Eve really felt in the situation. And in this page right here, she just goes ahead and breaks it off with him, and she said, "Look, we're done." You see here, this is what we're going to be seeing a lot of in season 2. Now, the reason why it's kind of mixed up like this is because of what I told you guys before. Robert Kirkman discussed this in an article, and we saw it in season 1 for ourselves. He actually, and this is for comic book fans, for people who didn't read the comic, they just watched it and think that it's happening the way that it's supposed to go, which technically it is. But in the comic book, a lot of the arcs and the stuff that we saw happen in the show didn't happen until after Nolan and Mark fought each other, and he ended up saying that he was a Viltrumite and what his real intentions were to the planet Earth and stuff like that. All of those arcs that we saw, him going to Mars, the whole thing with Machine Head, I was just saying stuff like that. All of that didn't happen until afterwards. But in the show, they made all that stuff happen beforehand. So that's why it's a little confusing right now with how they switched up the order. But we're going to be seeing this in season 2 as well. Debbie, she's not really coping well. And, she's kind of becoming an alcoholic. She's just, drinking away all her pain and sorrows. You have Mark looking at her, trying to tell her to be careful with it, not to drink so much. But Debbie, she doesn't really listen. She just kind of shrugs it off. Now, another big change for those of you who don't know. This is Amber in the comic book. Completely different from the Amber that we know in the show, right? I guarantee you, y'all will probably like this version a whole lot more too. In this comic book, she's just a caring, clueless, blonde, not stupid. She's actually, somewhat smart. She's cool, though. She's just a regular girl. Just, a regular person. Pretty much getting in the way of Mark's eventual relationship. Sorry, I got a little tongue twisted there. Eventual relationship with Adam Eve. But she's not a bad character at all. You know what I'm saying? She's nowhere near an Eve's, level or in her league. But she's not a bad character in her own right. She just doesn't really stand out that much. She's just there to be there. And Mark learns a lot from that experience. And he eventually moves on to Adam Eve. But I still enjoyed her a whole lot more in the comic than I did in the show. Here we get to see when Titan actually got Invincible's attention to tell him about Machine Head and how he needs his help taking him down. In the comic book, it's more straightforward. I actually prefer how they did it in the show, where he misspelled his name. He kind of like shortened it, and Invincible was just like, "Damn, you don't know how to spell my name?" He was just like, "Look, paint costs money, and you got a long ass name." I thought that was super funny. I love that line and that delivery. Masharli, I think that's how your name, Ali, did an amazing job portraying the character and just giving him a whole lot more presence and just life. Hence the whole reason why they make the show in the first place, bring these characters to life. But Titan just didn't really stand out that much either. I mean, I loved his design, and I like this issue and what they did with him, but he didn't really do... When he did show up, it was cool, but you just wish that you got more of him. You wish Kirkman did more with him. He really didn't do that much. So that's why I really enjoyed how they added a whole lot more on his character in the first season of the show. And with the way they ended season 1, I feel like they're going to do the same thing, even more so with season 2. Here we see them coming up with the plan to, attack Machine Head and all that. And while we get multiple scenes building up Machine Head's character in the show, establishing who he is, Titan's relationship with him, why he wants to break away, do what he does, In the comic book, it's really just done in 2 pages. You see, you have these huge, packed speech bubbles, you know what I'm saying, where he just literally just lays out the entire plan and everything that he wants to do in just 2 pages. Like, Kirkman really just crammed this all in there in 1 issue. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, I really enjoy how they fleshed it out more in the show. But, you know, a comic is a comic. It's a different format, different ways to tell the story. I'm not complaining at all. I still love the comic book all the same. And we got the information that we needed to get either way. Like I said all the time in these videos, it's really what you prefer. If you want the show for the show, the show has things that the comic don't have, and the comic has things that the show don't have. Like I'm about to show you right now in this fight scene. So, boom! This is actually the first time we see Machine Head, as opposed to the excellent introduction that we had of him in the show, where he was damn near singing auto-tunes. So he just burst in, the fight starts, and we get the introduction to his thugs right here that they're going to have to fight against. Now already you can see that the selection is a little different. This guy right here, his name is Magna Attack, I believe. He wasn't in the original. He wasn't in the fight in the comic. I mean, he wasn't in the fight in the show. They actually got him out. I think they left him out because of budgeting reasons or like money, which is surprising because they got everybody else up in there and did a pretty good job. Even him, as useless as he was in the fight. But it was still cool to see that they managed to get everybody else. It was just a little weird that they left him out when they got everybody else. I mean, come on, they could have fit him in there at least for like a useless death scene or something. He could have been like cannon fodder. He could have been like easier to take down than him. Just to have him in there would have been cool. And you see we have Battle Beast here, but instead he has on his helmet piece and his sword on his back instead of not having the helmet, no sword. See, in the show he just had the mallet and he didn't have the sword on his back or the helmet. But, you know, so I prefer the design in the comic, but it's still pretty dope how they did it. And yeah, you see it's just going down right now. It's going down. Something else that I thought was pretty funny that I was looking for in the episode, but they did not put that scene in here. It's when Titan turns into Titan and he says, "Rock on." Apparently, Invincible got inspired when he saw this. And out of nowhere, he says, "Good. Then I won't worry about holding back at all. Invincible punch." And then he punched the shit out of, I forgot his name. Hold on, let me see. What's his name? Tether Tyrant. He just punches him, right? Hold on. TV cut off. Want to make sure I had that light shining on. There we go. But yeah, he says invincible punch. And out of nowhere, I love how Titan addresses it. He just goes like, "Bro, what the fuck?" And he's like, "It ain't over, boys. I've got some fight left in me. And dude, invincible punch? Like, are you seriously?" He just like, "Bro, like, are you seriously, bro? Like I'm not about to just sit here and act like you didn't say that shit just now, bro." And then Invincible just like, "What? After your rock on display, I was feeling a little inspired. Sue me." Like, why was that like little back and forth not in the fight, bro? It's little stuff like that they just didn't put in the fight at all. And I hate that they ain't do that shit, bro. Battle Beast ain't playing. You know, he dual wielding the sword and the big ass mallet in the comic, bro. He just jumped in. Now see, in the comic, Invincible actually got a punch on him. Bop! On his face. Got a good little slug. In the show, he didn't hit the nigga at all. Now don't get me wrong, he still got his ass clapped at the end of the day. Look at Battle Beast just looking at him like, and then he still got clapped. Now don't get me wrong, look at that, damn. He still got his ass beep, 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 lumpity, beep. You know, he still got fucked up. But the fact that he even landed a good slug, a good punch on him, you know, just shows a huge difference between the comic version and the show. And also this line right here that I was also looking for. He said, "Impressive. You could be the strongest thing in this world. But I am not of this world." That's all I was waiting on, bro. And they ain't even do that shit. I don't know why they didn't do it, bro. And also, you get to see the new Guardians of the Globe come, and they're actually led by the Immortal at this point in time. Because, see, in the comic, Robot is actually criticized a lot by his superiors, Cecil and Donald. They tell him that he's actually doing terrible with the new version of the Guardians of the Globe. His response time is bad. How he takes care of things are bad with the collateral damage. You know what I'm saying? They end up causing more harm than they end up doing good. So he actually puts the Immortal on the team, not actually appointing him the new leader, but he pretty much does, demoting Robot without actually saying that he's demoted. And he adds new people on the team, including this character, Bulletproof, which I hope is introduced in Season 2. And they do a lot more with this character because, honestly, he did need a lot extra done with him. He's pretty much just a black dude that just likes to fuck all the time. And don't get me wrong, I gotta relate sometimes, you feel me? But no, man, he needs to have way more depth and layers to him. And he does have a pretty amazing character arc and some out-of-the-blue character development later on in the series. But I feel like you can do a lot more with him leading up to that. So it just doesn't seem like so in your face and out of the blue. Definitely an interesting character to keep your eye out for. Bulletproof, I feel like he's going to be introduced in Season 2. If you look at a lot of my videos that have like the different layout to it on the background when I talk, I have a picture of him actually. And when I put on the Invincible outfit that I have, the little cosplay uniform, I pretty much say that I'm Bulletproof because it makes a lot more sense considering that there is a black version of Invincible out there and he goes by Bulletproof. Another interesting fun fact, Robert Kirkman, when he was first coming up with the character of Invincible, Bulletproof was the original name for the character, but he changed it to Invincible, but he still found a way to use the name and put a character to the name in the series, and that is Bulletproof right here. Boop. So it's pretty cool. I like how they did it. So, brief little history. But yeah, man, so we get to see the fight, everybody going against them, getting their ass clapped. Hold on a second. Phone's ringing. My phone's ringing. Somebody important. Oh, damn. It might be. Oh, fuck. Hold on. Give me a minute. Alright, so you get to see Battle Beast, after the fight. Similar to how he held up Monster Girl and how he held up Black Samson, was it? But here, he holds up Black Samson and he holds up Bulletproof. Now, they probably didn't want to do that, considering, especially the world we live in now, just showing two black guys just getting their ass beat and then just having them held up like that. Personally, I don't give a fuck, but how sensitive people are today. But yeah, you can just see how they changed around quite a bit of things compared to how it went down in the show. You get to see the talk scene between Cecil and Mark afterwards, leading to Mark going back home and also talking to Eve. And Eve, this is actually the moment where she talks to Mark and tells him that, hey, I don't want to be a superhero anymore. I actually want to do so much more with my power. And it was cooler how it actually went down in the comic. I preferred how it went down there, even though the point still got across in the show, where they're telling Mark, you know what I'm saying, that her kind of getting inspired by Amber and going to that soup kitchen and all that. It is what it is. But I prefer how she just kind of like thought about it herself and got frustrated with the lack of what she thought she could be doing and kind of like came to that conclusion herself with her own knowledge and told Mark about how she wanted to change like what she wanted to do with her powers. I prefer how it was done in the comic than to her just getting inspired by Amber like that. I feel like that was kind of forced. And we end the comic with, similar to the show, with it being revealed that Titan had just used Invincible to help himself elevate to his own power, but it looks a whole lot more sinister and menacing, like he about to be really fuck some shit up, and it doesn't really go nowhere until many issues later. But yeah, it looks like he about to fuck some shit up. It looks more menacing and more threatening, as opposed to the show where it ends with him, saying like, he wasn't lying to him. He wants to run it better. He wants to make it kind of like a better place. He wants to do the business better. And then, you know, his family walks in and he holds up his daughter. And, you know, he has his woman up in there and they just they look out to the city through the window. And then, you know, he's just like, yeah, man, this is what I'm about to do. You know what I'm saying? So they changed it up a lot. But let me know which one you prefer. Do you prefer how, like, you know, what I showed you, some of the things I showed you in the comment, do you prefer how they do it like that? Or did you prefer how they did it in the show? At the end of the day, I really like how they did it to the, in the show. They added a whole lot more things that I feel like the comic needed. Even though with the fight that actually happened at the penthouse with Machine Head, I prefer some of the things that happened in the comic, like how they included Magma Attack. Even though he didn't really do that much, it still would have been cool to see how they could have included him in the series. That would have probably made it even better and animated, but still like that they included him in the fight and what he did. And also I like how Battle Beast was dual wielding weapons, had the helmet, was fucking shit up, and the fact that Invincible actually got a solid punch on him before the fight really got serious. I like how they did that. Even though it's a little thing, it's a huge change. Bulletproof being present in the fight, all that really just made it different. The Immortal being there and kind of like leading the team because of what I told you happened with Robot in the series. That whole story arc, that whole thing kind of being like out of the story. Maybe they'll include it in season 2. I feel like they're saving that for season 2. They could definitely still do that in season 2, so I'm gonna wait on criticizing that. But yeah, either way, I prefer how that fight for the most part was done in the book. Even though seeing it animated was still amazing, and seeing Battle Beast going crazy animated is always going to be preferred over the book because of how they animate this show. It just looks amazing. But anyway, let me know what you think and what you prefer. This has been Thingos, man. I hope y'all having a good day, night, wherever you are. Until next time, guys, peace. Don't forget to hit that link to join the Discord for the Invincible Disciples IDs, and also join the Facebook group at Viltrumites Take Flight. We try to post something new every day on there, man. And yeah, man, share this around. Tell your friends. Have a good one. Till next time, guys.